Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Mina. Welcome to my channel, Mina Reads, and today I'm starting a new reading vlog. In this reading vlog, I will be reading some of my most anticipated romance releases for spring summer 2021. So in this video, I'm only going to be reading 4 books, and those 4 books are Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle, then I'm going to be reading The Ex Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon, then I'm going to be reading First Comes Like by Alicia Rai, and finally I'm going to be reading One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. And yeah, let's get into the vlog.
It's a typical North Philly experience. I hate saying North. It sounds so bad. It's North.
Why do you hate saying North Philly? It's North Philly.
It's North.
North.
No.
F.
No.
North. I was listening to this on my travels today, and I think I'm on chapter 10. Basically, let me tell you what this is all about. So we're following this character named Maybelle, and Maybelle, she's been working at like this dead-end hospitality job for a few years now, and one day she finds out that her beloved like great aunt has actually passed away and left her large estate. So Maybelle is really excited to have, you know, inherited this estate, while also being really sad about like the I don't know, being sad about like missing out on a relationship with her great aunt. So she ends up going to this manor, and she's, you know, planning like her life after as an inheritor of this estate. And she gets there and she realizes that she has to share this estate with her great aunt's groundskeeper, and his name is Wesley. Honestly, I am not feeling this book right now, which is really shocking to me because I absolutely adored You Deserve Each Other. And You Deserve Each Other was definitely kind of a slow burner, in the sense that at the beginning of You Deserve Each Other, I was not rooting for the couple. Like, I did not want them to be together. I thought that they were like, you know, a horrible match and everything like that. And then Sarah Hogle, like, she convinced me that the characters were good together and I loved them and I was obsessed. So it did take a while for me to get into You Deserve Each Other from a romantic standpoint, but I feel like You Deserve Each Other was just more fun because it was really funny and like amusing, and I feel like this is just not that. And I don't know, like, I just feel like I don't really connect with the protagonist that much, which is like, usually that's fine, but for some reason it's just kind of making this story a little bit dull for me. Like, it just, like, I don't know, it's not giving what I needed to give, you know. And I feel like, so Maybelle, like, her life is just like really kind of sad, and she's really like lonely and isolated as an individual, and so she really wants to be friends with this guy Wesley, who she has to share the estate with, and he does not want to be her friend. It kind of seems like he just has like social anxiety maybe, but she outright thinks that he hates her. And there's also some messy stuff going on where like she had this best friend, fake best friend, who like catfished her for months for some reason. Like, she catfished her, I don't know, and she used Wesley's face to catfish her. So now it's really awkward because she has to like live with Wesley, and she connects Wesley's like appearance with that guy, the guy that she was talking to for all that time, even though that guy does not exist. So like, things are a little bit awkward. There's a lot going on, but at the same time, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about them cleaning up this estate. I don't really care about Maybelle as a character. Wesley, I don't necessarily care about him neither. I just feel a little bit like, when is the story going to get started? And I mean, I'm already like 40-ish% into the book, so I would hope that by this point I would be intrigued or interested or something, but it's not giving what I needed to give. So I'm really hoping that something is going to turn around and I'm gonna start feeling the vibe soon, because I don't know, this one is shaping up to maybe, possibly, potentially not be worth the hype. So okay, one, I've just realized that I really like vlogging on my phone. Like, I like vlogging on my phone way more than I like vlogging with my actual vlogging camera, which is like a choice. That's interesting. Like, I totally spent like $500 on that camera that I don't love using. Woo, we love that for me. But regardless of all that, I finished Twice Shy, and I forgot to update you like when I actually finished it. It's been like weeks since I finished it. But I finished Twice Shy and I did not like it. I gave it 2 stars. I just really could not connect with the protagonist, Maybelle. I just really was not a fan of her. And because the entire story is told from her point of view, I was just really kind of exhausted of her, like, quirkiness. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling it 100%. And then, like, the relationship between her and her love interest Wesley, it was just like, it was okay, but it wasn't necessarily amazing in my opinion. And I don't know, like, I was tired of Maybelle and her little coffee shop AU and all that shit. Like, it was too much. It was a little too meta, and I just wasn't a fan. So yeah, that's kind of where we ended up with that, which was really sad because I absolutely adored You Deserve Each Other last year. So I cannot believe that this book, which I was so heavily anticipating, disappointed me like this. But alas, it was not worth the hype. At least not the hype that I had built up in my head. So on to the next. I am aware that the lighting is really bad right now, so it is what it is. But I'm finally reading again, so I decided to dive into First Comes Like by Alisha Rai. And so far, I have to say that I'm really enjoying it. So in this book, we're following these 2 characters, Gia and Dev. Gia is like a YouTube makeup influencer. She has millions of subscribers. She's really popular. But right now, it seems like her career is kind of on like the decline and her analytics are not looking too great. And then we have this character named Dev, and Dev is like a Bollywood star and he's trying to make the transition from Bollywood to Hollywood. And basically they end up meeting because Gia was being catfished by some people using Dev's social media accounts because he was like hacked. And so there's basically like this catfishing plot line where she goes to meet him, she's really excited to see him, and he does not know who the fuck she is. So basically, you know, we're following them as they meet after this really weird encounter where she thinks that they've been communicating for like over a year and he has never even heard of her, and it's really awkward. I read like the first chapter where they had that encounter and it was so awkward, and I don't know, the secondhand embarrassment, like, it got me, so I took a break from it for a while. But I'm finally coming back and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it reads really easily and the characters are like interesting people, particularly Dev. I really like him because, like I said, he's making this transition from Bollywood to Hollywood, and he also is raising his niece because his brother recently passed away, so he's become like his niece's guardian. And I don't know why, but I love stories like that where people who never like intended to have kids are now having to raise kids. I don't know why, but I like reading about that sometimes. So I'm really enjoying Dev and his storyline, and I like Gia so far. She's cool. Hi y'all. Okay, so I'm doing my hair right now, but I just finished First Comes Like, and I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars, maybe. Things go from there. They have that like awkward first meeting, and then they keep like meeting up with each other to just like talk, and then one day basically these pictures get taken of them because they're both like famous, mostly Dev. Dev is famous, and then Gia is like a YouTube celebrity. So basically, one day these photos get taken of them, and it's like, it's all in the news or whatever, that it's like, oh, they're a couple, they're dating or whatever. So then they decide to start like fake dating because Gia's family has like found out about the pictures, and they're like really concerned about her like messing around with some random man. So they decide to start fake dating. So first they meet because of the catfishing thing, then they start fake dating, and then a little bit later into the story they have like a fake engagement, and there's like a marriage of convenience plot. Meanwhile, they really like each other the whole time. I just kind of feel like the author was just like throwing tropes in there just because it's like they could be there, like the marriage of convenience, the fake dating. There's also like the only one bed trope. Like, I just feel like the author was kind of just throwing shit in there, just, I don't know, for like advertisement's sake, because at a certain point it didn't even make sense. Like, if they had the marriage of convenience initially, like if they met, they had their like awkward first meeting, and then they had like a marriage of convenience and they built their relationship from there, perfect. If they were just to have this whole like, oh, we're fake dating thing, perfect. But I feel like the fact that there was just all these different tropes in it, like none of it was super interesting. Like, I think that Dev and Gia, they were cool characters, they're cute together or whatever, but I just feel like something about the way the story was playing out just felt like very artificial, which is stupid to say, obviously, because it is artificial. It's a book, not real life, but it just felt very contrived, I guess. And so I never felt like completely immersed in the story. It always just felt very like I could see the author like writing it, typing on her keyboard like, yup, the people who love this trope are gonna eat this up. And it didn't feel just like, oh, you know, cute story that's playing out in a like natural way. So yeah, I think I'm going to give this book like 3 stars. Like I said, I didn't 100% love it, but like Dev, I really liked him as a character. I thought he was cool. Gia, I thought she was also cool, and like her dealing with her insecurities was interesting, but I just feel like it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. So yeah, now I'm about to start my hair, and I'm going to read, One Last Stop. I don't know if you can see it actually, but I'm going to read One Last Stop. I have an arc of the audiobook from Libro FM. So I'm going to listen to that while I do my hair, and I will give you guys some updates when I know how I feel about it. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers, but I'll update you later. Okay, hi friends. So I just finished doing my hair. I was on Zoom with my friends and we were doing some reading sprints. So while I did my hair, I was also listening to the audiobook for One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and I'm about 10% into it. So I just want to give you guys like my initial thoughts. So basically, One Last Stop is about this girl named August, and August has recently moved to New York City. So she moves to New York City, she gets herself like some eccentric roommates, and she gets this new job at like a diner or something. Every day during her commute, she ends up seeing this girl named Jane, and Jane is this really hot, butch, tattooed woman. August is like obsessed with her and is hoping to see her on her commute. However, what I know based off the synopsis is that Jane is stuck in some kind of like time loop, and I think that she can't get off of the subway. So like she's stuck there and she's in some kind of time loop or something, but her and August are like slowly developing a relationship. So far, like I said, I'm only like about 10% in, but I'm really enjoying August's roommates. It's kind of giving me like a found family vibe. Really nice. And Jane is really hot. Like everything about the way she described was just had me swooning a little bit. So I'm a huge Jane stan already. Don't mind the background because I'm cleaning my room right now, but I just wanted to say that like August, she's a little bit pitiful. Like I don't mean to sound mean, because she definitely is like dealing with some things internally, but like everything seemed to be going very easily for her. You know, everything about her new life in New York is feeling very convenient. Everything is just falling into her lap, and she's not appreciating none of these blessings. Like, Miss Girl, just perk up a little bit. Just a tiny smidge, please. I'm begging. August stopped going to work and school after she met Jane, to which I say, girl, Subway coochie is not worth this extreme poverty. Like, how are you planning to pay your New York City rent if you're not going to work? Questions that need answers. But then again, if the Subway coochie was Jane Sue, I might consider it, because Jane is really
an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
I am no longer asking. I'm begging and I'm pleading with Jane to leave August for me. Jane, I will treat you better than she can. Please, please, please leave her for me. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Okay, but an update. I'm about halfway through. I'm like 200 or something pages into it. I'm like, wow, it's so good. I really like it. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading, and I'm packing because I'm going away for the weekend. So I'm packing, and I'll be reading on my drive down.
can do it. You can do it. I am. Hey, Nina.
Okay, hey y'all. So I went away to the beach this weekend. So while I was at the beach, I did end up finishing One Last Stop. Let me grab my coffee. So I have a lot of thoughts on it, so I just wanted to like sit down and talk with you guys about it. So first of all, when I feel like in my last few updates I had mentioned about how I wasn't necessarily feeling August that much, and I definitely maintained that feeling throughout, like I would say, the entire course of the novel. August, she was just, I don't know, like I didn't fall in love with her as a protagonist. She's not like a new favorite character for me by any means. Like she was okay, and I definitely feel like I warmed to her as the story went on, but I wasn't necessarily obsessed with her as a narrator. So it would have been nice if there were like more POVs in this story, but it's fine. I think that sometimes the narrative was a little bit convenient in terms of August's character, because I did mention before that like August, like she wasn't going to work, she wasn't going to school and all this other type of stuff, but somehow magically, you know, her rent was always paid on time, she was graduating sooner than she expected and all this other type of stuff. So it was kind of like, I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't fully connect with August's like struggles because everything seemed so easy for her. But I think that August, she was like an okay protagonist. However, I really loved the side characters in this. The side characters really sold this book. They made it what it was, in my opinion. So August, she has these roommates, and her roommates are just so fucking interesting and iconic, and I love them. So she has Mila, who is this black queer artist slash STEM major. She's actually like an engineering major, and she's already graduated, but she's currently like pursuing art. And I just thought that Mila, she was so cool. I really loved her a lot. So Mila is in a relationship with Nico, and Nico is their other roommate. And so Nico, he is like, he's a trans boy. He's a psychic, like he currently works as a psychic, and he's so interesting, and like I loved him when he was doing his readings and stuff. He was just so interesting and like eccentric, and I loved him. And then the final roommate is Wes, and Wes is a tattoo artist, and I love Wes, and he has this really interesting romantic subplot with another character named Isaiah. Oh my fucking god, it's so good. Like chef's kiss perfection. Then we have Jane Sue, obviously, and so Jane is the love interest in this book, and she is a girl from the 70s. She's currently stuck in the time warp. I thought that Jane was such an amazing character. She was so well realized. I really loved her story, and I really loved the whole like trapped on the train story and like how it was playing out. And I did love seeing how her and August like fall in love together on the train. I don't know, something about it was so cute. This story also had like some really nice sex scenes, which I wasn't expecting. They're not like super explicit, but there are some sex scenes in this, and I thought they were really cool, which is kind of a big deal to me because I feel like a lot of sapphic romances that I have read previously, they really focus in on like the softness and like the yearning and everything like that when it comes to the relationship, but they never focus on like, you know, I don't know, like physicality and that aspect of like attraction to other women. So I really do like that, and I feel like it's something that is constantly downplayed in sapphic literature. So it was wonderful to see that played up. It's very nice and sex positive and fun, and Jane is, she is so sexy. As I said before, and I will say again, Jane, please leave August for me. I will treat you better than she can. Listen, it was really cute. It was really fun, even though August was not like my new favorite character, and she's definitely not the character that sticks out the most in my mind when I think of this story. This was a really fun story. I did have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it a lot, so I gave it a solid 4 stars. I definitely think this one, it was worth the hype, definitely. I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I'm sure there'll be some people who are like aren't pleased with it, but I think most people will probably enjoy this, and I thought that it was a really nice, really fun sapphic story. It definitely has a queer found family vibe, which I know my audience really loves. So if you are a fan of found family, please read this. Also, there's like some queer history in here, which I also thought was really cool, and I appreciated a lot. So I'm sure there will be a ton of people reading this during Pride Month next month, and I would highly recommend it. So yeah, definitely check it out. Completely unrelated to the video, but like, you guys should follow me on Instagram. I just posted a new post. Like, I just posted something on Instagram, this picture here, and I think this picture is cute. Like, I've been trying with my Instagram. I've been putting in the effort, putting in the work. I'll leave my Instagram up here as well as my Twitter. You can follow me on either, both, neither, whatever. But I just have been loving my Instagram recently. I really like interacting with people over there, so definitely follow me over there if you're interested. Okay, yeah. Back to reading. I finally started reading The Ex Talk. Now, I lied to y'all on Instagram on Sunday, and I was like, oh, I'm reading the X Talk. And by reading the X Talk, I meant that I had read like the first 2 pages, but I had asked people on Instagram, like, had they read the X Talk, how did they feel about it, and I got a lot of really mixed opinions. Some people said that they felt pretty meh about it. Some people were like, oh, they absolutely loved it. And so I think that it was interesting to really see like the combination, not the combination, but like the variety of responses that people had. Like, I thought that was fascinating. So I was a little bit skeptical, a little bit nervous to continue on Sunday after having got all those messages. So I decided to just put it off for a little bit. So it's currently Tuesday, and I have been reading the X Talk. I went to the park and I was listening to the audiobook for the X Talk. The audiobook narrator does a really good job, by the way. But you know, the X Talk is about this character named Shay. She works in public radio as a producer, and this guy Dominic, he works for her same radio station as like a reporter. They do not have like a good co-worker rapport. Shay does not like Dominic, and from there they end up having to co-host a show together, and they're co-hosting a show called the X Talk, in which they're having to pretend that they are exes so that they can like give out relationship advice or something like that for their show. So I'm about 30% in, and I have a lot of thoughts, so let's unpack them. First 7% of the book, I really was worried that I was not gonna like this book at all, because Shay is an incredibly bitter bitch in those first 7% of the book. Girl, when I tell you that all she was doing was complaining, and like the hatred that she had for Dominic, it just felt very weird. Like, for a second I was like almost wondering if she was racist or something, because Dominic is Korean and she's just like a white lady, and she just had all this animosity towards Dominic, and it just felt a little bit extreme. Like, it was literally no reason for the way that she just was like so heated over everything he did. Like, and he didn't even do anything that bad. Like, he seemed like he was maybe mildly annoying, but like they didn't even have to work that closely together. But she would just clock at his every move, and she just hated him. Like, she could not stand this man. And I was like, something about this shit is not right, because it just wasn't making no sense why she hated him so bad. And I feel like as the story goes on, like, you kind of see how Dominic's personality can be like kind of grating or whatever, but I still think she was wilding out. It was no reason for her to be acting the way that she was. However, I think that as the story goes on, I really started to understand Shay, and she became much more likable to me and a lot more relatable than I thought she was going to be. So let's just say that it took me a while to warm up to Miss Shay, but Shay has definitely gotten better. Her and Dominic, their rapport is a lot better, and at the point where I'm at right now, they need to work together on this show. So they're like working on their ideas and everything for the show, and crafting their like story of how they got together and how they broke up and all that stuff, because this is a fake relationship. I think this is a really interesting twist on the fake dating trope, because, you know, typically the fake dating is like for some type of gain, but I've never seen people be like fake exes. I think that's a really interesting twist on the trope. So shout out to Rachel Lynn Solomon for like that innovation. I'm sure somebody else has done it before, but like this is the first time I've ever seen it, so I thought it was cool. But so far, I would say that the X Talk, I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I went into it thinking that I was really not going to like it, and the first few chapters were really hard. But as of right now, I'm about 30% in, and I am enjoying it. So hopefully that trend will continue, and of course, I will keep you updated.
Look like shit because it's the middle of the night and my allergies are bothering me, but I want to talk about the fact that I'm like 60% into the X Talk. So Dominic and Shay, their relationship is like progressing. They're doing their whole little talk show where they're pretending to be exes. So they're faking like an ex relationship, I guess, whatever. So basically there's some sexual attention between them, and they act on that sexual attention after spending a weekend together. And so they have sex. Good for them. The scene was fine. It was whatever. So then after that, Shay is like, yeah, I think I might like him. And her friend is like, okay, sure, like, cool, you like him. Why not make your relationship like a real one instead of just having a fake relationship? And she was like, no, I can't, because that would be us lying to our audience and blah, 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 blah. And I just can't complicate things. You think it's not complicated enough that you're already faking a relationship for a radio show? But the complicated part is making that relationship real? Characters in books don't make no damn sense, and it really, it hurts me to core.
Alright, I'm in my office and it's totally a mess in here, so hopefully you can't see everything that's in the background. But I did end up finishing the X Talk. I think I want to give it like 3 stars. I I enjoyed some aspects of this. I don't know if I was like good at getting any of that across, because I know I definitely complained a lot in previous clips, but I will say that I did think that the banter between Shay and Dominic was fun. I thought the concept of their radio show was cool, and there was some like transcripts from their radio shows, and I thought that they were like amusing. I wish there was more of them actually. I did kind of like Dominic. I like the writing style. I feel like the writing was just really easy to get into. It flowed nicely, so like that was cool. I feel like it was well written. I would say that my main issue, again, I feel like I mentioned this was like almost every book that I read in this vlog, but I feel like I just really did not connect with the protagonist, Shay. I found her to be very irrational, and I mean, I guess she's just like a human being going through some things. She feels a little bit abandoned by her best friend. She's still like dealing with her grief over her father and all types of other stuff. So I understand that she's going through some things, and some of those things are like very natural, very regular, but I just found her to be a little bit bothersome, and I didn't 100% love her. And I felt like Dominic, her love interest, I felt like he deserved better. The way that she acted and interacted with him on multiple occasions in the story just didn't work for me. So I have to say that their romance didn't work for me. I wasn't like swooning over it. It was fine. I think that Dominic and Shay are like interesting characters. I think that the story was like well written. It was a cool concept, but I don't 100% love the execution because, like I said, I didn't really connect with Shay as a protagonist. And when I read a romance, I want to connect with the protagonist and their love interest, and I want to really be like invested in their relationship, and I just was not invested in this relationship. But like, it was an entertaining enough story. It was an interesting concept, and I definitely see why some people really like it. I can't say that I really liked it, but it was okay. Like, it was a decent enough time. I don't feel like it was a waste of time reading it, but it's not a new favorite for me, which I am honestly distraught about, because this whole vlog was me reading like my most anticipated romance releases of 2021, and I kind of didn't like absolutely love any of them. Like, I didn't give out a single 5-star in this video, and that makes me really sad. I'm gonna do a ranking of all the books that I read. So in the top spot is going to be One Last Stop. I think it was really fun. I had a good time. I liked the romance. It was sweet. It was funny. The found family was cool. I enjoyed it. I would say in second place, I'm actually shockingly going to put the X-Talk, even though I was complaining kind of a lot about the X-Talk. I feel like the X-Talk was definitely very fun to read. Like, I had a fun time reading it even when I was complaining about stuff. So I would definitely say that it was more enjoyable than some of the other stuff that I read. So even though it's like not a new favorite romance, it was definitely like second place when it comes to this vlog. Then in the next spot, number 3, I would say First Comes Like. First Comes Like, it had a lot of potential. Their relationship was very wholesome. Gia and Dev, you know, they were cool, and their relationship was very wholesome, but it was a little bit boring. I don't know, something about the way it was written was slightly dry, and I feel like it didn't fully execute on any of the tropes that it tried to employ. So yeah, third slot. And in fourth place is going to be Twice Shy. I really just did not have a fun time reading that book. It was very boring to me. So yeah, I don't know why I'm holding my hand like this, but yeah, 4 is Twice Shy. Alright y'all, so I think I'm going to close out the vlog here. So I mean, were they worth the hype? No, they were not. They did not live up to the hype that I had personally built for them, but they were still cool, some of them. So I gave you my little ranking, and I mean, that was it. That's pretty much all I've got for this video. If you'd like to see more of my content, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Also, you can follow me on my Instagram or my Twitter if you want to catch up with me in between videos. I tweet a lot. Sometimes I post things on Instagram, so I'd highly recommend following me on there. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And a special thank you to my wonderful patrons.